Hello, my friends. Thank you for coming to play with the ideas that I present on my channel. You know, I was so excited about starting a series on happiness. It was the very first meditation, the very first long meditation that I did way back in the 80s. And I was puzzled about why happiness would be the first thing that they'd want to tell me about. And it just seemed, I don't know, not serious. Anyway, so I finally understood that, but I happened to do another meditation in the meantime on my question was, are we co-creating? Are we the creator? What is our role as sentient beings in creation? And boy, the answer blew me away, and I've been thinking about it for a good 2 weeks now. Enough to begin to give you the perspective that they gave me in this meditation. So I'm not the physicist. My brother is a physicist. If you follow me, you know that. Anyway, part of the basic information was that matter and energy simply expands and contracts. Well, I don't think it's simple. It's very complex, but let's look at it in a simple way, okay? So, you know, galaxies are born in these giant explosions. They're taking some amazing photographs of this now, stars being born. But why is it exploding? Okay, they said that matter and energy contracts, and when it compresses, so to a certain point, it has to explode again. So it's a wave of matter and energy moving from the explosion, and at some point, the energy begins to go back in the process of contraction. Now, they did say that the matter and energy is moving much more, well, the only word for it is energetically. I'm very sorry. But the velocity that of the matter and energy is really very propelled. There's a lot of impulsion with the explosion, okay? And then when the matter and energy in all its permutations, its expressions, begins to get to the end or edge of the return. And that's another question I have to ask, because now I really want to know, well, what makes it go back, right? They said that when it gets toward the end of the impulsion, it's not as diffuse, it's not as energized, it doesn't have the same propulsion as the matter and energy experienced in the Big Bang, which is our words for it. And so realities become denser and denser as the matter and the energy declines and becomes more clumped, cohesive, not as highly, not in as high a frequency. And so we experience here the density that we're experiencing at this point. Because, well, I don't want to kind of go beyond that right now. we'll get to other parts of this particular meditation. So the summary was that we can only create locally. All right, so we think of local as our community, our environment, our part of the world, maybe our planet. That's local to us. Our star system's very local to us. And they've been coaching me on how important our sun is for a while. I did a meditation on that before. So what else is local to us? Us. We are local to ourselves. Now, when they said that the universe is not a person, doesn't make any judgments, there are no judgments. Actually, I was told a long time ago there weren't any rules in the big, expansion and contraction of energy and matter. But as a human, I really have an issue trying to grasp that. So let's just forget about that. But in this meditation, what I had to assimilate, because it was so hard, was that we always think that there's a God, there's somebody in charge. There are avatars and teachers that we all tap into. But the concept of the creator they were discussing here is incredibly impersonal to us. And so this merging of science and spirituality is important, because if our experience, our expression as we wave with, well, actually, the Big Bang is a continuous expansion of matter and energy. But one of the metaphors for this is us being alive and being dead, returning to something, a familiar state. So this waving in and out, we see everywhere. Obviously, we see it in the ocean. That's why we're all so fascinated by the action of the waves, because on some level, I think that we know that this is how creation, manifestation works. It goes from explosion to contraction. All right, so enough about that. And then what I was taking away from that is the importance of our local experience. So we're the most local thing to ourselves, right? Doesn't get any more local than that. We can only experience things subjectively. And even though we think that what's outside of us is defining us, our internal choices of what we think about what is external to us does create our reality. We do create reality, but it's incredibly local to our expression of matter and energy as it waves in and out, as we wave in and out. We're still the same sentience. And there's another part of this that goes into integrity, but we're not going to talk about that today. What that made me understand, though, is why happiness was the first thing that I was given by my guides and angels. When I asked, oh, why are we here? What is this all about? What does it mean? And the answer was happiness. So what is happiness? Happiness is the highest frequency, if you will, the highest vibrational state that humans can experience in a physical body. And it is the same for plants and animals. The highest vibration, the highest frequency, which are the only words I can think for this, because we don't think of plants as having an endocrine system. So how could they feel emotion, right? But emotion is motion and energy, as everybody kind of does know. So if we embody happiness, if we create happiness in our lives, if happiness is a goal in our life, what we're really trying for is the highest expression of ourself. So why be happy? They told me it's extremely local to us. And we do create out of how we think and feel about things, extremely local to ourselves, which is the only place that we're expressing any integrity at all, is in this self-knowing, individuated energy that's taken up some matter. Okay, I think that's my first one on happiness. And we've got a lot more to come. Thank you so much for coming. And please do like, share, subscribe, do all those things. I really would like to grow this channel. So if you think my work is interesting at all, please help me grow it. All right. Thank you so much. And until I see you again, please be well and please be blessed. Take care.